Now, the worst act committed by Michael Eisner and his band of cronies was to actually take these direct-to-video sequels and release them theatrically, which completely infuriated the animators of Walt Disney Feature Animation, as they took away from the specialness of the yearly or bi-yearly releases of their own films. Both Return to Neverland and The Jungle Book 2 were given cinematic releases, though the critics noticed that they definitely had a direct-to-video feel and completely lambasted them. Thankfully, audiences also spotted the lower quality animation and were smart enough to stay away.
Got to try. I'll always believe in you, Peter Pan.
Peter Pan in Return to Neverland.
Okay, Tink, let her have it.
Another shameful act was taking failed television series that never made it on air and repackaged them as sequels, which is how we got Belle's Magical World, Cinderella 2, and Atlantis: Milo's Return. In total, Disney has produced a total of 23 direct-to-video sequels to their classic films, including an extremely goofy movie, Lady and the Tramp 2, Scamp's Adventure, Hunchback of Notre Dame 2, 101 Dalmatians 2, Patch's London Adventure, Mulan 2, Tarzan 2, Lilo and Stitch 2, Chronicles of the New Groove, Bambi 2, Brother Bear 2, The Fox and the Hound 2, and Cinderella 3. Thankfully, John Lasseter put a stop to this nonsense by declaring that no more direct-to-video sequels to the animated classics will be made, cancelling production on Aristocats 2, Chicken Little 2, and Dumbo 2, among other projects. The final direct-to-video sequel to be released would be the prequel, The Little Mermaid, Ariels Beginning, which was the typical mediocre product we pretty much came to expect. That said, the animation was actually quite solid, and there were some humorous moments here and there. But what set it back is not only Triton coming off as almost a villain due to banning music for his own selfish reasons, but the actual villain herself as well. While Ursula Morgana wanted to take over the ocean and wreak havoc, the antagonist here just wants a promotion. Yeah, that's it. Her evil plan is she wants to be King Triton's number 2. Not steal his crown and take his throne, no. She just wants me promoted as his assistant. And what does she do when she succeeds? She goes shopping. I wish I was joking.
And I'm never going back to get that claw boy. Oh, I'm never going back.
Delivery from Miss Del Rey.
Make no mistake, I'm here to stay.
Hey.
Meet the new Marina Del Rey.
She does seem happier.
Oh well, that's the last one of these. But I guess since I talked about the sequels, I should probably talk about the very thing that led to these things, the spin-off animated series, and these had a considerably higher success rate. While Disney Television Animation had previously made series feature characters from their short films, such as Winnie the Pooh and Chip and Dale, the first series based on part on a feature film was Tailspin, which starred some of the characters from The Jungle Book. This was a fun, energetic series that had well-written and exciting stories that managed to mix in Rudyard Kipling's beloved animals in a new setting. And while strong devotees of the book might cringe at this, I thought it worked quite well. It really is a testament to the series that though it's been almost 20 years since its cancellation and it's barely rerun nowadays, the fan base is still incredibly strong for the series. Then there was The Little Mermaid, which was set before Ariel became a human, and it was a respectful prequel to the series. The stories were solid, and they managed to get the actors from the original film, though continuity is rather off kilter, which you will notice in the other spin-off series as well. There really isn't much to say, but if you're a fan of The Little Mermaid, you will definitely get a kick out of it. Another Ron Clements John Musker hit, Aladdin, was also afforded the series, and of course, was what led to the sequel onslaught of the 90s and 2000s. Like The Little Mermaid, it had a fun set of stories, and surprisingly, Aladdin's transition into an action hero didn't feel awkward. The Rogues Gallery of Villains were also a fun bunch, with a Greek gadget inventor and an Egyptian Catwoman being the most interesting of the bunch. Again, I'm annoyed at the fact that they're not married here for some reason, but it was still a solid effort overall.
Don't get bored, don't get beaten, oh God, you might. Come on down, stop on by, hop a carpet and fly to another Arabian night.
The massive success of Lion King made the series obvious, but instead of going the traditional route, they gave Timon and Pumba their own series akin to Animaniacs, mixed with Ren and Stimpy. It wasn't a great series, but my enjoyment of these two characters are enough to make it funny. And the episode in which Pumbaa adopts an ugly chicken is quite possibly the funniest Disney television animation has ever done.
Mommy, how come Uncle Timon won't join us for dinner? How come he won't be a part of the family? How come? Mommy, how come?
You're upsetting Pumbaa Jr., Timon. Come on, join us for dinner. I fixed your favorite cockroach casserole parmesan.
Mommy, how come Uncle Timon gets to eat first? How come he gets to eat first and we have to wait until after him? How come, huh?
The Jungle Book was also afforded another series in 1996 with Jungle Cubs, which was nothing more than your typical younger versions of classic characters animated series, without the originality and spunk that efforts like Tiny Toon Adventures and Muppet Babies had, and it was cancelled after just 21 episodes.
That's why a bear can rest at ease with just a bear necessities of life.
101 Animations got its own series, and as fun as it was, it really departed from what was animated in live-action film versions. It was set in the United States rather than England. Pongo Medita were in the focus, and most baffling of all was Cruella de Vil's appearance as the primary antagonist.
For my new neighbors.
Happy bar mitzvah, Howard?
Well, it's all they had at that filthy, fat-infested donut shack in Greenville.
I mean, how is she still not in prison? Why don't Raj and Anita sign a restraining order against her? Why is Anita still working for Cruella and thinks she's a good person? And I could go on and on. I mean, she stole 101 animations to make fur coats out of them and was arrested. How did a company not collapse after that? Oh well, the series had some laughs in it and it's solid, but the continuity is all over the map with this one. In a different case of me enjoying the series more than the film that inspired it, Hercules actually made the characters rather likable, and the modern day references and changes to the Greek mythology didn't bother me as much. That said, at what point in the film do we find out that Hercules went to high school to train, and how does Hades know of his existence when in the feature he didn't realize Hercules was still alive until he was an adult? Still, it was an enjoyable enough series, and even though crossovers don't do much for me, I really did find the one between Aladdin and Hercules to be great, especially the interaction between Hades and Jafar.
Hello. Priorities, babe. All right. First, you take care of Hercules. Then you are free to skitter off and have your stinky little revenge. You got it?
Oh, yes, of course. Forgive my eagerness.
Meanwhile, Buzz Lightyear got his own show that was definitely my favorite, as not only did it not mess with the continuity of Toy Story, but the episode scripts were funny and the action was very good, even with the limited budget of television animation. Patrick Warburton was also a worthy substitute for Tim Allen, Wayne Knight was great as Zurg, Buzz's crew was a great ensemble, and need I mention those adorable little three-eyed aliens. After Buzz Lightyear's Star Command, the quality of the spin-off series started to go down. The Legend of Tarzan was just kind of generic, and the stories didn't do much for me, I'm afraid, as the Tarzan-Jenny relationship that made the film so good simply lacked the spark, mainly because of Minnie Driver's absence. Lilo and Stitch was the only series to have involvement from the original director, with Chris Sanders continuing to voice Stitch, but its Catch All the Experiments plot felt too much like Pokemon for my taste. And The Emperor's New School was too crazy, which is saying something considering it was based on The Emperor's New Groove. But the animation style felt cheap, and the jokes didn't do much for me. And that's it. To my knowledge, there aren't any more of these spin-off series, which I'm actually thankful for, as I don't see The Princess and the Frog translating to the format particularly well. And I'm especially pleased we won't see a sequel where Tiana and Naveen's daughters turned into a frog by Dr. Facilier's brother or something like that. That said, the Disney fanboy in me simply considers these to be non-canon, so I'm able to keep calm about them. I'll see you next time.
You will find